Clap sync. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Just want to say those are some solid ass claps from me.
Oh yeah. I didn't hear him because Discord noise suppression.
They're beautiful, let me tell you.
Yeah.
They're very clappy looking claps, you know.
Let's see here. Episode 225. Riggs edit. Flying by the seat of our pants. Fuck show notes. Welcome, challengers, to Battleground of the Gods, a Smite podcast. I'm your host, Adept Nation, and joining me today we have Fro Double G.
What's up, motherfuckers?
Nevaeh 03.
Hey, I'm John Travolta standing on the Conquest map trying to find any gamers.
Ooh, and Nevaeh 03.
Wait.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Hey, I'm Nev. I stream sometimes on twitch.tv/Nevaeh03.
What
You see, I
happened,
was thrown
Deb?
off because she was John Travolta, and I never got Nevaeh 03. I got John Travolta. So we have
Yeah,
Riggs.
because that was John Travolta speaking. Not
That was
Nev.
John Travolta speaking.
Okay.
You did such a good job, Nev.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
How
How are you doing, Riggs?
Hello.
Yes, Riggs.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm older now.
Happy
older now.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. That's why I was not here last week. I had some shit going on.
Oh,
But
yeah.
1 year closer to being a boomer like you guys.
Wow.
Oh.
Imagine.
I'll be
Calling me
a
a boomer?
boomer in a couple months.
Hell yeah.
I'll be even more of a boomer in next month. Oh, no. Oh,
Oh
no.
no.
Oh, no. I just looked at the date.
Yeah.
It's
Wait,
coming up,
All
man.
right, my
Next
wife
month.
and I
Yeah.
realized we'll be in our 40s when our kids are finally adults. It's like, oh
a
boy.
month. A month and
That's not
3
too bad,
days.
though. I
for
feel like
definition.
that's pretty standard though, right? Like being in your 40s by the time your kids are like 18, 19.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the two
that's-
approaches, right? You either enjoy life when it's young without kids, or have the kids young and then be able to enjoy adult life with them. With them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
Gotta love it. No show notes today, so
That's
Yeah,
not true.
no.
That's not true. I
We're-
typed them
That
up
is
real
not
quick.
true,
You
Dad.
mentioned no show notes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I got this. We got intro, games, something, CC.
Fine.
Thank you.
Imagine making show notes. I thought this was gonna be a fly from the seat of our pants kind of episode.
You can't do that with that.
You know?
You can't.
I mean, that's fair. That
We-
is fair.
We
I
have
lose-
the no notes
I
noted
lose
episode.
the awesome transitions. I'm like, I don't know where we're supposed to go.
I
Let's
mean,
just
it's
keep
not even
going,
just the
you know?
transitions. It's also like
It is.
it's just
The
depth.
topics.
Yeah,
No,
it's
it's just
also-
it's
Yeah,
just depth.
It's everything.
We'll
everything.
spend 55 minutes talking about some like one particular thing that happened in like Sea of Thieves or something.
I heart depth real big, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. My favorite thing about Depp is when I say something, and then 5 minutes later, Depp is like, I just had this idea,
Hey,
and then
Nev,
like literally
you realize you're John Travolta just looking around for gamers?
just looking around for
Just
some
looking
gamers
around
on that
for some
Conquest
gamers?
map. Speaking of Conquest, did anybody play Conquest this week or watch SPL or anything related to Conquest? Question mark.
I did.
Oh, Riggs,
Yeah.
tell us about it.
Yeah, so I mean I have like 2 weeks worth of games, but let me tell you, can't really remember a lot about my games. It's one of those things where I've played a lot of games, but let me tell you, they were god awful. So I pretty much as soon as I played them, I just dropped them out of my memory.
Forgot about him.
I did have I see in our show notes chat we have a couple of very long games going on. I can add to that.
Oh boy.
Let me
Long ass
see,
matches.
which
Episode
one was
title.
it? Oh shit, which one? Oh, it was this one. It was the Amaterasu one. So you guys had a couple of 50-minute
Disgusting.
bangers. I also had a 54-minute banger in Conquest. Oh boy, let me tell you, that was a fun one. Played Amaterasu solo, right? It's not really that amazing, but tis what it is. But then it was one of those games where like every time we had a team fight, it would just be a complete wash. Like it would be like a 4-for-4, and like one person lived on each team, so like you can't really do anything with that. That was literally every single team fight all the way up until probably like 50 minutes into the game or so. Because we finally won a team fight with like more than like 2 people alive afterwards. So we got Fire Giant pushed and won. But holy shit, that was a game. I'm sure your guys are probably similar. Well, I know you guys are playing Slash.
I
but
actually
it's
had
just
the
goddamn.
opposite and the similar happen, right? Our fights, and I had it was a 45-minute slash, and I was on Bologna. At least I got 96 fucking worshippers for it. That's the plus side. But our fights were either long, drawn out, like 2-minute long fights where we go 1 for 1, or 4 for 4. And if we went 1 for 1, we would just kind of posture for the next minute until that person came back, and then go at it again until each team lost a person, or fully commit to wiping each other out. It was interesting. Riggs, I'm beginning to agree with you a lot more. Bologna sucks ass. Like, it's just so hard to do stuff on her. Like, I was doing all right, but the more I keep playing her, it's like maybe those were just good games.
Yeah, she definitely has really good matchups into certain like backliners, but for them like overall, unless you're playing Conquest where you get a lead and you can play with your lead a little bit, like if you're playing like Slash or like Arena, Bologna's pretty dog shit. Like she doesn't really do anything.
Well, I mean, I was able to.
She's like a gnat.
Yeah. And it's all right if you're able to at least fuck around a little bit of early mid game in the Slash and all that, but when they turn into 45 minutes, you spend a lot of time in that useless zone. A lot of time.
Yeah.
So, Nev, how did your long-ass game happen? Let's just go around the table. Let's just hear how this goes.
Yeah. Whose 55-minute games were worse? Nev? Paging Dr. Nev?
All right, can you not hear
John
me?
Travolta?
No. No.
Oh, okay.
Can't.
No, my Discord kind of choked for a second there. I didn't hear the question.
How was
your long game?
Oh, it was a slash. I was playing Nuwa, and the enemy Loki on. I just said enemy Loki. Of course, they are on the enemy team. Definitely hiding that profile. Can't remember their level or anything like that. But I feel like it might have been a Smurf. It does show like their profile level. Very not as high as everybody else on the team there. Went 32-14 and just absolutely obliterated our team on cooldown. I got to the point where the cooldowns on our respawn timer was so long, and by the time I would leave Fountain, he would ult and one-shot me as soon as I walked out of base. And I'm like, I hate everything. And it was on stream. So it was not fun. I had a couple of people in that game that decided that was their last one of the evening. They tapped out for a little bit after that one. That was a very frustrating game for basically everybody on my team. We had pretty positive KDAs except for our random. And I think that I think if 2 different things happened in this slash game, it would have gone a lot different. Number 1, if the Loki didn't exist, like that was just annoying. That was absolutely upsetting. But number 2, our random was playing Discordia, and she just wouldn't like step up. Like she wouldn't like be in the team fight, and would like try to split push. So like we're all in left lane trying to defend Phoenix, and she's trying to run up right, and I'm like, well, you're not a hunter. What are you doing? Like come over here with your Discordia abilities and your magical damage and participate in the team fight. And so then like 3 of us would die, and then she would like try to force a surrender, and I'm like, no, we're not surrendering.
That's why they were salty that you didn't surrender, and so they threw the game.
I don't know. It was frustrating. So the Discordia had a negative KDA. Everybody else on our team had positive KDA, and the Loki farmed the shit out of everybody on my team. So that was that game.
sounds like all of our long games were just awesome.
They were awful. Oh my god. We
50
actually no. The real frustrating thing about it is that we did actually team wipe the enemy team. And we marched down right lane, we got the Phoenix, and I'm like, there's hope here. There's hope here. And then we died. And then there was no hope.
There was no hope. Hope is gone.
It sounds like 50 minutes for all of us was a solid investment of time.
Oh, who won
Sounds
their
were-
50-minute
it sounded
game,
They
by
were
the way?
like great games.
We lost ours. Did we? Wait, no, did we win? I don't even remember.
I won mine,
Mm.
but yeah.
How many
Other
worshippers
than-
did you guys get in those games?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I think Fro has his, right? You had like 90 something, right?
96.
That's wild.
Jesus. But yeah, other than the 54-minute slobber knocker, I only have 2 more games that were noteworthy. I have another one which I'm not gonna count this towards my record in the Mast versus Rig saga.
Oh,
Is
shit.
this one was a little bit of a not really, my fault, but another episode of the Mast versus Rig saga, the saga that he has no idea who I am or what this is, but I do. So
So it matters.
so it does matter.
Our community
Um,
knows. That's what really
yeah.
matters.
So I queue up, right? I don't even realize it's him at first. I'm like, until I check what their mid laner bought, and I look at their tier, and I say, oh, it says Call Me Mast. I was like, oh, their solo laner's tier. I'm playing jungle. I'm playing dodgy, and we have a solo Kabrakin, right? Now Kabrakin versus Tyr, not the best matchup. Tyr can interrupt your 3. Can't really stun him for that long. Kind of just annoying, right?
Mhm.
So my Kabrakin from about level 3 all the way till about 20, 23 minutes into the game or so, is just constantly asking me to come gank this tier. Which, if you've ever played jungle and you have a tier in
Ganking
the
a
solo lane,
tier's an investment.
you never want to do that. Unless you know that you're gonna get the kill, it's like it's gonna take so long. It's gonna be annoying. It's not even worth time, right?
I'd rather just come steal
But
his buffs, you know?
Yeah, I went and invaded their blue. I killed their enemy Robin jungle like 3 times in the first like 2 minutes. Like I was invading their whole jungle. I got their blue. I got all their stuff. I was killing. I finished the game 11-2, but we were like steamrolling this whole game. The only lane we were losing was the solo lane. And at a certain point, Archer Bracken's like, all right, have fun, guys. And he just AFK'd in base. And then Tyr got to rotate. Super high level, just 5v4 fights the whole game pretty much. And then we lost. So that was fun. I'm not going to count that in my loss column. So I'm still undefeated.
Teammate
In my
through.
books. Since it was kind of a 5v4. But
Oh, speaking
take
of
that one how you will.
5v4s.
Does
Sorry.
Snap have a 5v4?
That's pretty much it. My other game was it's just a pointless rank game that I lost. So you're good. That's my games, Nev. You want to take over?
I'm a little irritated. I had an actual 4v5 yesterday, again on stream. I'm playing Arena. There's Jean Kui, about 3-4 minutes into the game, is already 0-4, 0-3, something like that, and just stands in Fountain for the rest of the game. And a couple of the randoms on my team were like, report the Zhong. And I'm like, oh, I'm on it. I'm on it. Like, this guy is very clearly just chilling in Fountain, not participating. And, he types back, go ahead. It won't matter.
Oh, they love seeing that. I can tell you for a fact they love when people say it doesn't matter.
So I said, well, I'm streaming right now. And he was like, so it's not going to matter. And I was like, well, it's going to show you standing AFK in Fountain for the past 5 minutes, telling everybody that it doesn't matter. And then he didn't say anything. And then at the end of the game, I reported him. And in the text box, I said, stood AFK in Fountain for 5 to 5 to 7 minutes and then said that it, quote, it wouldn't matter if we reported him. Prove him wrong, high res. Prove him wrong. I'm hoping that
Right.
when I log in today, I'll get an action has been taken.
Against, yeah.
Those are
I'm
always the
hoping.
best.
we love to see it. We
I'm
love to
hoping.
see it.
But I think honestly, the highlight of this week, unfortunately, it was another L. But I think the highlight of this week was I had an assault game with Baronic on my team, popping off on this Uller in assault. Let me pull these deets up. I was Discordia. I did not do very well. I mean, I participated in some team fights. I had the most assists on our team. But Baronic here on this Uller, 15-5. And at one point, we're pushing up to their Phoenix. I'm like, carry me, please, carry me. And then we team wiped and we lost the game. And so at the very end, I was like, I'm sorry I let you down, Baronic.
Your best, right? Did your best.
Did our best. Honestly, they had a pretty intense enemy team there. They had Hercules, Giannis, Kronos, Changa, and Shibalanke against our Hoonbots, Changa, Shibalanke, Discordia, and Uller.
Listen, the Scarabs couldn't even beat the SEC team, so I'm not surprised that Baronic lost an assault game.
Oh my god, the shots have been fired.
Get bugged.
No, I was just like, what
The Scarabs
kind of...
got bugged.
Yeah.
I was like, what kind of elo am I in my assault queues that I'm with an SPL player right now? Like, that's the question. Like, usually whenever I see SPL players in my games, it's in, like, mode of the day. Like, cooldowns runneth over. Like, they just want to vibe, before or after their set, and they load up a cooldowns runneth over. But this is, like, the first time I've actually been with an SPL player in an actual casual match. So that was pretty exciting, in spite of the loss.
Mm-hmm.
Did you not play with me and Rick when we would constantly get the Sanguini boys?
No, because that was always in Conquest, wasn't it?
No, it was like Clash.
Oh no,
it was
well
like
then y'all
random modes and like arena and stuff.
Y'all cute. I have been against minor league players before in Clash and all that, but this is the first time I've had a SPL player on my team in a casual game. Poggers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't had any of that. The most I get is I'll run into like Derpy Bear on Wednesdays every once in a while, like once
That's
a month,
awesome.
every other month. I'll see her in an assault.
Yeah.
That's about it. Like I don't run into people. That's when it's like, man, I never run into anybody. I mean, occasionally I'll run into people I know, like just like other gamers, but no like SPL people, no content creators ever, nothing.
We should turn a game into that. Who's the most famous Smite player that you have killed before in a game?
Oh, I have a screenshot of that somewhere. Oh, we don't have it anymore. We deleted that channel.
Or,
Oh
like,
shit!
highest
I
ranking.
mean, I guess I 1v1 I 1v1 Duke Slothin in one of his customs. Does that count?
Yeah, I mean that counts. People know.
No,
Duke.
like I
And
had
then I got accused of corner camping. I'm sorry, Duke. I'm really just a dummy playing fucking Gilgamesh when he was busted. That's just how it was.
I had that one SPL player that was in cooldowns.
Yours
And
was
I got
like
yeah.
Cyclone, Nev. It was like Cyclone, I think.
It was
Right?
I
probably
think
Cyclone.
I don't remember. I had a screenshot of it, and we don't have that
Or
channel
it was like
anymore.
Paul. It was like Paul or Cyclone. I think.
No, it
was one of the
wasn't
two.
Paul. I faced against Paul during the freaking Slash Invitational for content
Yeah, I was
creators.
on your team. That sucks.
That fucking sucked. But he's very nice. He killed me with kindness and also just by being
Abilities.
Paul.
Yeah.
I think mine is. I think I've killed a roar.
Oh, I
I'm pretty
did
sure I've been
kill
against
him
a
once,
roar.
though. I did kill him once.
Mm.
One time in that
I
one
think
game.
you win then because you've killed a 2-time.
I have.
Yeah.
Technically
once.
mine. No, roar's only won once. So I've killed a roar. I think I've killed a roar and then I soloed weekend when I played on Xbox.
Nice.
Mm.
We're talking about pro players.
Well, just yeah. I feel like
Got him.
nah, we said most famous. Hey,
Listen, if
Weekend's
you
a
don't
console
even do
world
1,000
champion, all right?
damage,
Weekend's a console world champion, and even though he shits on console all the time, so I don't know what his whole deal is. Is console bad, or are you a console world champion? What does that mean? I don't know.
right?
Oh,
right.
real quick. I was AFK last week because I was on a vacation and participating in a wedding. Big shout outs to this one individual that was hanging out at the reception. We talked Smite for about 15 minutes. So if you're listening, hey, it's me. I was the person you talked to about Smite for 15 minutes.
Is it Steve Barry Doug?
It is
She
not
not-
Steve Barry Doug. It is not Steve Barry Doug. Listen, I had a lot of gin and tonic.
Ooh. If we're talking
I'm
about
also really bad
having-
with names.
if we're talking about having a lot of something, I had a lot of Long Island iced teas the
Oh
other
my
day.
god. You had so many Long Island iced teas on Friday night. Did
Mhm.
you know Depp Nation doesn't even know what LIT stands for?
It?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Stands for Long Island iced teas.
Okay, I was like, hold up. Like, is this something I don't know?
Or Long
like,
Island
I know the
tea.
term lit, but what LIT?
I'm
like,
on the
what?
same
Right.
page as Bro.
See,
I
no,
was like,
I'm on the
yeah.
same page as Bro. Like, thank you. Thank
No,
you.
okay. Depp was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
I
you're just
saw
weird.
it written. No, he said, I saw it written on the board and I didn't know what that was. And I was like, it's a Long Island tea. That's what it stands for.
Shouldn't there
I
be
don't
two
think I would
eyes then
pick
if it's
that up.
Long
Yeah,
Island
there
iced
should
tea?
be two eyes.
Two eyes.
but
It's
yeah,
yeah,
and
and
also
that's what
could just
confused
be
me.
called Long Island tea, which that's what.
No, because there needs
Yeah.
ice.
No, that's fair. They can call it that. I wouldn't assume
Yeah.
on a especially like if nowadays because of the youngsters, right? You can't
Right.
say lit or have that
Well,
without me associating
and-
just getting crunk. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Right.
well,
But
he
here's the
was
thing
lit
also.
on Lits. So
The proper
that's a
drink-
whole bit of litception I'm not ready for.
on the drink menu, the proper Long Island iced tea, they called a Long Island iced tea, but then they had flavored lits.
Oh, so
And
it
so
said
I'm
flavored
like, what
lit.
the fuck is it? Well, it said like, oh, raspberry lit, and I'm like, what the fuck's a lit?
Stop trying to make
And it's
lit
like
a
I
thing,
kept going
Depp.
through and I looked at the ingredients. I'm like, oh, it's a Long Island. Just write that out. Like that's not going to cost
wanted
that much
Depp to
extra
be
in
like,
ink. Just type it, write it out.
bartender,
Finish
did
it.
you know
Did you know?
bartender, the person who does this for their job, did you know
They
that a
don't.
raspberry lit is a raspberry Long Island
Long
iced
Island?
tea?
Which
You would be
also,
surprised the amount of people who would tell bartenders what are in
Oh, they
drinks
would.
and how
Oh,
to make
I know.
them.
I worked in food service. I heard a
Yeah,
lot of stupid shit.
oh yeah,
Like,
Listen, I've watched enough
people
Bar
are
Rescue
dumb.
to know that some bartenders don't know anything about making.
no, absolutely.
no, that is
not.
also the
that's,
other hand of
That's
it, right?
also fair.
Because I did go to a restaurant or a bar
Because-
one time, and I'm like, yo, it's my go-to drink. I'm like, could I get a White Russian with a splash of root beer if you have it? If not, a splash of Coke
Wait.
on top.
Wait,
little bit,
I've
just-
never tried with a splash of root beer or splash of Coke on a
Root beer is
on a
definitely
White Russian.
preferred, especially if you can get like a
It'd probably
A&W root
be
beer,
like
like a
root beer
creamier
float,
root beer.
yeah.
But Bark's also,
Huh.
it will suffice. But just a splash, like not even a shot's worth.
You know what? I'll try
About
it
a
next
shot's worth.
time. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, make it in
And,
a tall glass and then splash
yeah.
it on top.
And then the person was like, what's a White Russian? And I'm like, oh.
Oh no! What?
All
That's
right.
like,
And then at that moment, I'm like, I'll take a Jack and Coke.
oh my
Yeah.
god!
Yeah,
How
no,
do
you
you not
change your drink.
know?
You
Were
change your
they
drink
new?
to where the name has the ingredients in it.
Were they new? Like, how do you not know?
I mean,
mean,
some
it
bars
was-
might not even keep the stuff for that stocked, though.
Okay,
You know,
but
I was
then
kinda
one of them
we
bars
would,
where I was
that's when
running
you
the
would
risk.
say
Unless
we
you're
don't
a
have
regular
the
somewhere
that-
and you're getting
but
White
that's when you
Russian.
would say we don't have those ingredients, not what is a White Russian. If you as a bartender is saying what is a White Russian, I'm a little
Anybody
concerned.
Caucasian from Russia.
It's just because John Taffer hadn't with him in shape yet. John Taffer hadn't visited yet.
Did I
I'm
tell
a
you
little
guys?
concerned.
John Taffer's daughter went to school with my sister.
That's huge.
Yeah. Dude's like that in real life too. Just like a raging asshole constantly.
Just raging.
Yeah. Like he's not playing it up for the show. Like
You
that's
know-
him. That's
you
him
know-
to a T.
You
Maybe the
know,
show's just morphed him into that.
you know who else are raging assholes when people get really tilted in Smite and don't realize that it's just a game. How were everybody else's Smite games this week?
Let's see. We did Riggs. We did Nefro. Did we do you yet?
I'll do
Uh,
for
I didn't really play much Smite this week. I'm not gonna lie. I think I've been bringing this up for the past couple weeks. I'm struggling right now in Smite. It's just not the meta for me. Not.
I'm
Like
a
they
little
don't
upset
have my
about
favorite
Bobble
game
ruining
mode.
everything.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
we still don't have MOTG,
that's-
and like
that's
playing on
been
Sundays
big
is
upsetting.
like my thing. Like even the wife knows I like
Right.
to play a few games on Sundays.
Well, it's like it refreshes me on Sundays, and then it's like, okay, yeah, now I can play normal Smite the rest of the week.
right.
Like
Yeah, there
it's
is
a
a bit of that.
reset button, and we haven't had our reset button.
Well,
I get that.
I can make the reset button tonight if y'all are interested. I will do custom cooldowns run at over queues.
I
if
might
enough
have to
people
be here
show
for
up.
this.
I mean, I'd be down for at least 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Yeah.
could use it.
Yeah.
If enough people show up, I will do it.
Honestly, some of those everybody the same god cooldowns. could
Those
be
were fun. Those
Those
were
are very
fun.
fun.
It depends on
I
the
might
god.
do that too.
It depends on the god too, because like the Athena one, it was fun for like the first 5 minutes.
The
and then it
Medusa one
like,
was the best.
Oh, that was good. The Mercury one was good.
The Mercury one was hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I've been struggling to play Smite, and
Okay.
I feel
I think
that.
another thing I've kind of realized a bit is a lot of people are wanting to play like a fucking assassin without picking a fucking assassin. So I had this happen yesterday, and you know, in the moment I was getting a little heated because I was in a 30-minute slash at that moment, but
Right.
I should have had some understanding because Dubs joined us, and Dubs hasn't played in a while, right? So I should have been cutting a little more understanding. Dude hasn't played in a while. But at one point, I'm like, yo, why is our Chiron chasing down their Xing Chen or whatever the fuck tank it was through the jungle as we're sitting here trying to defend Titan? What's going on? We got 3 tanks, or what it was. I think that was the one where they had a whole shit ton of tanks. I'm like, we got all these beefcake peoples that we need you to be killing, but you're busy chasing, right? And I kind of realized that's just been happening a lot.
The meta, multiple.
We don't
things,
have
so
an
it's
assassin,
strong.
or if we do have an assassin, he's actually like trying to help out in the team fight
I
somewhere.
saw a couple games,
And it's always our like either our tank, right, with all the auras, or our carry chasing some dude off to BFE, and it's like, yo, you two are like some of the most important people to have in our team fights. We need you in those team fights. Like, we need the auras, we need the peel, we need the CC, the setup. We need the constant DPS and the burst damage. Like, and it's always, I don't know, just getting a little frustrated with that. And I think I finally figured out that that's part of it, right? I don't know.
I 100% agree with everything you're spitting right now. That's, I think I mentioned it a while ago, but that's part of the reason why I play so much frontline in the game, is because I feel like nobody wants to play frontline, and so naturally I was like, well, if nobody else will do it, I'll do it. And that's kind of been coming up again recently, where just like every game I play, it's like instantly we got 2 mages locked in, a hunter, and like maybe another hunter and assassin. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing it anymore. So I just lock in like a 5th damage dealer, and we just don't have a tank because
You did that yesterday.
tired of it.
I had hopped off, but I was
it.
hanging in chat. But I remember you saying that. You're like, fuck it, I guess this is a 5 damage dealer match.
Because it's just, I mean, I'm not gonna. It's a lot of things combined. Like there's the DR changes, kind of they mostly affect tanks. There's a lot of damage in the game, so tanks get shredded easier. And especially if you're the only front line.
If you're the only tank.
Like, what
but
are you
if everyone's tanks, then you can't deal enough damage to get through it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could have, if you have like 3 tanks, then yeah, you're sacrificing some damage, but you have a fuck ton of CC. Like, there's trade-offs, right? But if you're the only tank, like, more often than not, especially if you're playing with like random people, like, you're just fucking useless. So it's like, and it's not fun to do that. And I get, you know, play what you think is fun, so people lock in damage dealers because they're fun. But at a certain point, like, I'm tired. Like, I'm getting a little annoyed too. Just like, be like, all right, I guess I'll sacrifice having fun this game to be the tank and like have be the front line. Which
Yeah,
is not
I think
playing tanks
that's
is fun
part of it.
sometimes.
It's
but-
like I'm okay with having fun and memeing every once in a while, but why am I the one who never gets to do it? Why am I the one that's like, okay, our team is liking this, I'll pick this? And I suppose the
Right.
proper answer, or at least the answer that most of the people would give you is, well, fuck it, just don't pick it then. Okay, cool. Now
Then I
everyone
guess
is
this
nobody
game's
100%
else
lost.
guaranteed.
does it.
Right.
Right.
when
Right.
nobody else has that attitude of, well, like how you're saying, how your attitude is like, well, I'll help the team, I'll do what's best for the team. I do that sometimes too, and then like you're right, like when you decide to say fuck it, and nobody else on your team has that attitude of, all right, I'll do what's best for the team, then the match probably is going to go in the shitter because it's like
Mhm.
you don't have a balanced team, which you don't always have that balanced team, but like like in a couple of my games, it's like I had 5 damage dealers, which is fine. But then when it comes
Not 3
to
games in
sieging,
one
you don't
day
have
like
anybody
that,
that can
though.
tank.
Mhm.
Yeah, when it comes to sieging, you don't have anybody that can tank anything. You have to wait for minions, and God forbid they have a mage that can clear minions, and you're screwed.
Right.
Then it makes the game a lot harder if you don't have someone that can fill a role. And so then your game is just shit. So the next game you're like, fine, I guess I'll bite the bullet and I'll play whatever I don't want to play, and then nobody else assists with that, and then it sucks. That's
And
kind
I
of where
Bummer.
I'm at as well.
I don't want to whine because I never want to be one of the people that's like, content creator, I get to whine about this, right? But there is a smidge to it that when some people join us, they either want to meme, and I don't know if it's just because it's us, right, as podcasters, or people on stream kind of get a weird mentality sometimes. Like if you're
Mhm.
streaming, Neva, I'm sure can relate to this one, where they're like, I'm gonna do this so everyone can see me doing this really weird thing, and it's like, well, just play normal. That'd be cool. Like
This
then
is
people could
this
see us
isn't
having a
the
fun
you
game.
show. This is the me show. I'm the streamer.
I've
Right,
done that.
and I don't
want
wanna be that way.
I've blinked underneath tower before with no stream. Like we played assault. I'll blink underneath tower at level 5 just like for no reason, and I'll just
Right.
walk away.
Yeah, thanks for that, by the way.
Well, there's some of that where it's like funny and it's enjoyable, blah blah blah. Doing that every once in a while, right? You don't do
Yeah.
that every game,
No.
but it gets
No,
into a
Riggs
bit of a
does do that every
problem
game.
where it's
No,
like,
I don't. I do it like once every like 10 games.
I'm teasing.
right? Well, okay, well, like you just said there, you'll do it like once every 10 games. But then you have another person come in and they're going to do it once every 10 games. And then you get another person and they're going to do it once every
And before you know,
however.
it's
And then
50%
when
of
you go
your
to
games.
stream, yeah, and then when you go to stream the next day, well, you have a new person who joins on this day and they're just going to do it the one time. But then you have the rando on the next game and they're just doing it this one time whether you know it or not, but they're the rando. And it's just like, holy fuck, every game. Gets rough. It gets old. It gets tiring. That's just kind of. And again, I don't know if it's just people trying to have fun because they're also not dealing with this meta very well. If it's people trying to like, oh, here's the content creators, let's fuck around with them, which I'm for it if I'm in that mentality and like I know that we're going to fuck off and that's the point, right? I'm cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's just when I think we're gonna go play a normal game and I'm the only one playing a normal game and everyone else meme and it's like, oh. I wanted to have fun
Should have
too.
let me know beforehand.
Right.
I would have been having fun.
Yeah.
Imagine
But
having
it's just
fun.
awkward.
Right.
But I do,
I was-
since I think we are still technically on my games of the week, so I'm
Yep.
gonna curtail us back over for a second. I tried League of Legends. I've been
Oh
playing some
my
League
God.
of Legends.
What?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's
What'd you think?
not really my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would probably be a lot better if someone were to help explain some things.
Yeah.
Mainly because like I did the tutorial they had 3 different tutorial stages, right? One of them was about purchasing, right? And it made sure you
That
purchased
was a
items.
shit tutorial.
Dude, it's so
I was
bad.
there for that. It was so shit.
I bought my items for the first time.
Yeah.
Then just went to lane, and it like never prompted me to like go back or buy items or do anything. So I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, it's got to do that at some point. I ended up getting like 6K gold, which in Smite and League that's pretty comparable for like holy shit, I should have backed. And pushing
Right.
down their like T2 tower before I'm like, I'm just gonna back because I'm out of health. Like I don't. And then
Yeah.
it never prompted me to buy items
Also,
at all.
an 8
So I'm like,
second
okay,
back.
well, good thing I remember what the button is to open it. And then it's just like, here's a store. I'm like, holy shit, you're not even gonna like flash anything, like check
Guide
this out,
me
or like
around
here's
the store,
stats,
Like
or
a
right.
here's
recommended
anything.
build, or
Well, it did
oh
have
man,
the recommended was like the home screen, but it didn't like delve into explaining like, okay, like a bunch of smaller items build into larger items, and that's kind of League's thing is like, while there's a bunch of smaller items that can build into multiple large items, but you almost want to spend as much gold as you can.
Hmm.
Like you don't really want to have too much gold in hand
Don't they do it
when
to
you
where
build
like
back.
if you have multiple T1s, that's like good, or am I misremembering like League?
So yeah, because there's multiple tier 1s that go into tier 2s, and then those tier 2s can build into multiple tier 3s. And so you can
I
kind
don't know.
of
That sounds
pick up like
complex.
right, exactly. Imagine
So
having a
think of it like
complex item
components, right?
system.
Like you merge it, right?
Couldn't be Smite.
So think of like a Smite item tree, and let's say you're gonna go buy like a Jotun's Wrath or something. What's one with multiple bridges? Not Jotun's. Like let's go to Lifesteal tree, right? You know how it starts off with like the tiny trinket and then splits and goes into multiple options? Think of it reversed, right?
Yeah.
So if I were to buy Bancrofts, I'd have to buy like 4 tiny trinkets, and then those would leap up, and I'd have to buy the 2 T2s of Bancroft's Talon. And once you purchase those, then it goes into actual Bancroft's Talon. So it's a little different. It's like you're constructing the weapon almost, it's a really cool
Yeah.
system. I do enjoy
It's a
that.
neat system.
Explain to me a fucking thing about it though. Like if I didn't go
Right.
in with a little bit of prior knowledge, like because we made the joke about, oh, this guy's doing League of Legends build, because I've had to talk to my buddy about this who used to play
Right.
League.
Right.
So like I have
Right.
a little bit of knowledge of how that goes down. I would have been so fucking lost, and like it never once explained to me what AP or what is it, AP, or what's the other one, attack power, ability power.
No, AP is ability power.
Yeah, I forget what the attack power ones. I forget the abbreviation for it.
Oh,
It never
AD.
explained it to me.
AD is attack
okay,
damage.
Yeah, attack damage. That's what it's. See, I know what those things are, and it's
Yeah.
whether you do ability damage or basic attack damage, right?
Right.
Right.
They doesn't explain any of that. I don't know what lethality is, but I bought an item that has it. Like fuck, I don't know. I'm at least slightly happy that it had good for this on it, right? So it'd be like this
Right.
item, good for dueling. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna assume dueling's 1v1ing, all right, and it's like,
All right.
and it'll show like the gods that or the champions you're against. It'll be like good against this one, so it's like okay, so I really was like, this guy's in my lane. I'm gonna buy all the shit that says good against this guy because fuck him, and that's the best I got. Yeah, pretty shit. Like
Yeah. Tutorials.
it's good to know not just Smite is the only MOBA out there with absolute dog shit like training modes.
Oh,
Well,
you
and
wanna know
the
a bad one,
Smite
dude?
ones,
Dota,
they've tried to
Dota is
improve it.
bad.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Dota
it's
2 is awful to try to learn.
it's basically like just a reskinned league, or I mean, it was first. Dota was first.
It's
but
similar to League, yeah, similar mechanics, kind of top-down view, but there's like a bajillion like items and just
yeah,
mechanics, and it's like it's horrible, dude.
yeah,
It's one of those games where like to learn the game you have to put in like 200 hours to
No,
learn the game.
yeah.
Like,
I don't have time anymore.
Right.
Don't have time anymore.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
I don't get it with Smite, right? I'm not gonna comment on other games' communities because I don't know them very well. But with Smite, we have a shit ton of content creators. We really do. We have a bunch of them trying to be informative content creators.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't we hiring these people to make short 1 or like
Is
30 seconds
That
to 1.5 minute
not
video?
what I said when I was running for Olympian.
wasn't.
Exactly.
No,
It wasn't
no,
that.
I know it was.
No, no,
I
no,
know
no,
it
no,
was.
I'm not BMing. I'm not
Repeat
BMing
that.
Fro. I'm not BMing Fro. I'm just
Damn it.
saying. I literally
Give me
said
this
that.
one, Nev.
Like that was on my application. I was like, you have all these people doing all of this very like informative content creation, and they could just work out a deal with those content creators and be like, okay, here we'll put you on the learn tab for like the next like 3 months or something like that, because this is currently relevant to this current meta or this brand new god that just came out that people don't understand how to play.
Right.
And then you rotate those out with different content creators. That way, Hi-Rez doesn't have to worry about making the informative
I was gonna
tutorial
say,
videos to put
even
on the Learn tab. You just rotate through the content creators that are already doing that for you.
have a link to the YouTube videos, and maybe just have something out there. It's like, hey, if you make a video on how to play this god, we could feature it in the Learn tab, and you could
Right.
get, like 500 gems or something. Like they could even make it
We
like
need to be
not
more than
like real.
500 gems,
But
but
you know
yeah.
you know what I'm saying though. Like it's the idea of
They
it.
would-
Like
they
they don't
would
even
pay.
have to offer.
They would pay.
Yes.
No,
Exactly.
they would. They would pay.
Exactly.
It is a business. They
they-
would pay you.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
it's
like
there,
the
and like
idea could be raffled off essentially.
And that would promote
anyone
more
would do it.
content creators
More-
to make
exactly.
more videos
Correct.
and to start making videos in general. Who knows
Correct.
the next, I hate to use falling back to Duke Sloth because we're lacking that right now. I think in the Smite community is the super informative, get into details and numbers guy. Or if there is one I don't know about, please let me know because I'm lacking that for sure. But yeah, we could have the next one of him coming out like busting out on the math and the numbers because of a deal like this.
They
But I
keep
think it
hiring
can be
them, and
applied
then
to
it's taken
even
away
just,
from
like,
the community.
Some of the more simple things like they never explain what DR is.
right.
They don't cover
Right,
diminishing
exactly. There
returns.
was so much on
Like,
Twitter
it's
where
this
people were like, "What the heck
background
is
stat."
DR?" And it
Right.
was coming from people who have been playing the game since like forever, and they didn't even know what that was. The
Yeah.
tutorial in the Learn tab is still so severely outdated. Like they have improved it over time, but it's still so outdated and not informative enough for new players.
Well, I'm just very upset because there's stuff that it will not go out of date. You like explaining what DR is, maybe the
Right.
actual duration about it, right? That would have because they
Right.
finally did a change, which was a huge change and something they won't do frequently, right? But up until that point, one video simply explaining this is DR. It could have been short, under a minute, and it would have been relevant for years, right?
Right.
And they could have just had
agree.
something like that. And I'm not saying that they couldn't have refreshed it with a new video here or there like that. But I'm just like, some of these base core things that change hardly ever or never, why aren't
Right.
they explained a little better? Or at all?
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
I
it
agree.
was the simple things that I could be like. How many new players who didn't watch the patch where they explained the global anti-heal debuff
Mm-hmm.
are going to understand A, what's this icon always on my screen except for when I'm in a fight, if they notice that's when it disappears, and B, what the fuck's it doing, right? Because if they're not on PC and they can't free mouse, they can't
Right.
see what the debuff does, and they'll never have an opportunity ever anywhere in the game itself to see what the fuck it is. They're going to have to just figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, if you put in the fact that, right, the enemy team has anti-heal, various forms of anti-heal of different amounts, then you're just going to have to play a guessing game to kind of figure out, is this what's causing me to anti-heal? And even then, what's normal healing, right?
Right.
You're going to have an anti-heal debuff if you're not in combat, but if you get hit with a Brawlers or a Divine or a Tainted, or you're too close to a Pestilence, even though you're not in combat, like, and this is never going to be explained to a new player, ever. Hopefully you saw the patch notes. Hopefully you go back and watch the patch notes from 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's like last night I had somebody join in on the stream that used to be a regular. They IRL stuff happened. They kind of went AFK for a few months. They came back. They're like, okay, well, I haven't played Smite in like 4 months. What's been going on? What's new? What's different? Who's been nerfed? Who's been buffed? And I'm like, that's a lot of content to cover.
Yeah.
Everybody's been buffed. There was the tanking. There was the nerfing.
Yeah, there was the tanking of everybody.
Yeah.
Or as Depp said, the
Yeah.
thickening.
I tried to avoid it. I was asked to never say that again.
I like the thickening because I think it's more accurate because they were given health, not
I
protection.
was asked to never say that again.
Yeah, he gets all sad about it. I was asked to never say that again. So,
Yeah.
not to say that ever again.
is that your Depp impression?
Yes.
Apparently,
think I
you're Winnie the
nailed
Pooh,
it.
Depp.
I think I
I
nailed
guess.
it. TBH.
More Eeyore.
It was more
yeah,
Eeyore.
Eeyore.
By the way,
Yeah.
we
he was
talk
really
about
sad
how
about
Winnie
it.
the Pooh and all of his friend groups are like some of the best friend groups out there because they never once ask Eeyore to change himself. They just accept him for who he is and still invite him to everything.
Right. That's right.
Because they're all like, it could be worse. We could be Eeyore.
Could be Eeyore.
No, they don't ever judge him. They're just like, it's Eeyore. He's a bit depressed, but we're still gonna.
They
don't tell you about their judgment.
Don't you dare
Pooh goes home and
make Pooh out to be an
slurps down
evil
his honey
person.
and he goes, "Thank fuck, I'm not Eeyore." He's
Contact
Man
this
sticking
bear.
his hand in a jar of honey all the time.
Yup.
Oh, so sounds like some pretty exciting games, bro.
Yeah, pretty exciting games. League of Legends was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just been playing other games. I've been trying to fill the void, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Feel that
much-
though, like truly. I get it.
Yeah.
I just want my cooldowns back, right?
I do too.
Yeah.
Because you know what else? This is another one that's disappeared with cooldowns.
What's that?
Yeah. Omni.
Omni.
And Infinite Assault.
Infinite.
2.0.
And yep.
And
But guys,
Infinite
all the
Assault.
cooldowns based mode of the
Adventures in
days are
Smite
gone.
now. We have
okay.
adventures.
Let's talk about adventures. I played an adventure
Let's
yesterday,
not,
too.
because we've talked about that too. That it's not an actual adventure.
It's
It's
not.
literally just conquest and other mode of the days.
No. I'm gonna go in on this a little bit more because the
mode of the
current
days 'cause you can
adventure,
get rewards from it.
the current adventure is literally classic joust
Yep.
5v5.
Yep.
We've said it before. That's just an MOTD.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I played it yesterday, and it's one of the most assiest ass modes I have ever asked.
Yeah, I did
Because
not
here's
have
the
fun.
thing,
We
at most, it's
queued
meant
2
to
of them, and I did
spool
not have
3
fun.
players. It's meant to spool for 3 players, and you put 5 on that map.
Yeah.
On each
Yeah.
side.
Yep.
Also, that map sucks. People
Yeah.
love I love
It's
the aesthetic
the
of that
worst
map, but that map is dog shit. There's
Yeah.
a
The
reason that map
aesthetic of it
gone.
is like, first off, the aesthetic really explains why they called it joust, right?
Yeah.
Medieval
Yeah, it
times. I
literally
love
was
it.
a
I love it.
joust.
I love it. I love it.
Right.
The layout of it is absolute trash. And I'm sorry if you're nostalgic for it. I'm sorry if you enjoy it. It's not a good map. It's not balanced.
We said that when they brought it back for original rotation of Joust. You guys remember
Exactly.
that?
Yeah.
When they brought
It's
it
just not
back, and I
good.
was like, I'm just not playing Joust until this goes away.
Yeah.
They need to go back to changing. I've said this numerous times as well. They need to put the joust maps on a rotation. Look, they're all in the game. We know they are because they're in the customs, right? If I can pick it in customs, that means I have the file downloaded. That means it's in the fucking game.
Yep.
Put them on rotation. I don't give a shit if it's every day. I don't give a shit if it's every hour, every fucking 15 minutes, every week. Put them on rotation. Every week might be a little long. A week of classic joust might be a little long. But
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Put them on rotation somehow. I don't see. It's probably some sort of coding issue, and I know it's very simple of me to just be like, "Well, change it."
Just
But-
change it.
Yeah, just do
That's
this.
what I think should
Do
happen.
it. Just do it.
Just do it. Nike. Just do it.
Anyways, who hasn't said their game? Steps? Was it you?
Me.
You last? All
Me.
right. So your game's
so-
at 50 minutes in.
My game.
Oh my god.
You know. I only played Smite this week when I was like, oh hey, Naja 03 is streaming. I should go
Aw.
play some games with her. And I did.
That's so
and
sweet.
I came into the game 2 Long Islands deep, 1 in hand.
Yep. And then we
Finish
had a
that.
real bad game,
We
and
had
you
a
made a
real-
4th one.
And I made a 4th one.
Deb, say it. Call it by what it's actually called. What's it called?
It's lit.
It's lit. I
It's
got
a
lit.
Yeah, you
I
had
got a lit. Although, Nev, we say it was a really bad game. We won it.
yeah, it was just rough.
It was rough. We won that game. But coming in hot off the lits, I destroyed. I got my Thanatos pick,
Mm-hmm.
and I went 21-7. Ratio better than that Loki that was destroying you in Slash, Nev.
Listen,
So I was more of a menace than a Loki.
that's
Just
Slash.
saying.
That slash made me upsetty spaghetti, let me tell you.
Mhm. And then I got the Poseidon, almost got a pentakill. Got a quad. I got a couple quadras.
Oh my god, I
Um,
almost had a penta on Nev's stream. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot I got a penta. Yeah.
No, what? Well,
Thanks for
you
reminding us,
can't
Depp.
just say, "Oh yeah, I got a
How
penta."
can you not
and then how
forget?
can
I forgot
Or
about
how
that.
can you forget? How can you not remember?
I don't think it counts though, because I was playing with one of my IRL friends, and he doesn't really play that much, and so I was playing Thanatos in Arena, and I built crit, and I was just running around critting everybody.
Gross.
Nice.
I mean, I
don't
did get a
think
penta.
it counts, but
Here's the
did get a-
thing: people are like, "Oh, crit on Thanatos is bad." Not really. Dude gets 35 pen when his 2 is active. 35 flat pen for free. You only need like Titan's Bane. And
I mean, yeah, you
like
just go
that's
one flat pen at him, and
20%.
you're
You have
almost at the
30, like,
cav.
yeah. Which
Sorry, I didn't mean to
that's another
derail,
no. That's another one of those hidden items.
Well, I also got a penta last week when I was in Blaze's stream. I totally forgot about
Nice.
this too, and there's a reason why I forgot, and that's yeah. Depp, sorry. That's because we were playing, right? We're in an assault, and I remember nothing about this at all, nothing at all, except for them going, "Oh shit, you got a penta," and me going,
Huh?
"Wait, what? I just got a penta?" They're like, "Yeah, you just got a penta," and I'm like, "Oh, cool."
Neat.
That's all I
Neat.
remember about it. That was it, because I didn't realize I got one fucking at all, and I'm just like, okay, keyboard.
Yep. Oh, but Nevea 03
Mhm.
between yesterday and today, or no, not today,
Friday and
Friday.
yesterday.
Between Friday and yesterday, I believe for the games that I was present for, we only lost one,
Mm.
which hardly
Your history
happens
looks
in
nicer than
Nevea 03.
mine then.
My history is pretty lit, but all those victories were had with you.
Oh,
So
thank you.
you've got green. Green exists.
Yeah, it exists.
It's just when I wasn't
there.
there, you must have been catching L's.
Listen,
So
listen. It was a rough,
there might be a
rough
theme
couple
here.
of days there.
There might be
Well,
a theme.
it was also because I hadn't played in almost 2 weeks because I had like the IRL stuff going on, and then
That's
I had the
true.
vacation
That's
and
true.
everything. So, yeah, just like had to like mentally remember how to play Smite.
You know, happens to the best of us.
I did another great Heimdall portal here. Hold on. I'm so good with Heim in the portals. Like I just I don't know how I only do 2 feet 2 feet portals, but here you go.
You know?
I'll put that in the chat for you. You're
Whoever
welcome.
is editing, I severely apologize. I thought I was muted, and I have bad allergies right now.
Nah, you're fine.
You know,
that's
it
fair.
happens. 6 hours of Primo Smite content.
And to the listeners, in case the editor didn't catch that, sorry for blowing
Mhm.
out your eardrums.
We should see the spike.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I think I'm editing, so
I was gonna say, put a timestamp in the chat for yourself, Riggs. That might
Yeah.
help.
I did.
Little editor's note. So yeah, Detonation's games, catching dubs, getting kills, nearly getting pentas, not wanting them enough.
Mhm. I mean,
You
you
know.
didn't want that one.
I didn't want that one.
And then you got
So-
one stolen.
I
And
did.
it wasn't stolen from me or by me.
It wasn't. I was real. I legit threw up the F6.
That was the game that you made another Long Island afterwards.
It was. That's why I needed it. Had the penta stolen.
Yep.
Said,
That's
fuck
what
this,
did
I
it.
need a drink.
That's what did it. I remember now. It's all coming back to me now.
It's right. There was a lot of Long Islands. A lot of Long Islands were had for both sides. Oh.
Yeah.
But let me see. Anything else to note? No. No, that was about it.
Well, Deb,
That's
I have a different kind of game that's not a Smite game, if you'd want to get into
Oh.
that.
What's that?
And today's the day we
We
could
broke
get into it. What is
Shambo
it?
on stream.
No, I talked to Fred about this, I think, because I was playing it with him yesterday, and I mentioned it that I was curating something again. And
Uh-oh.
I have something. A little game of sorts, I guess you might call it.
Oh. Are we playing
So
it?
I don't
Let's
know.
play a game.
Yeah. I don't know how much, you guys have watched SPL or pay attention to stuff like that, but Lancelot is allowed to be in competitive play.
Lancelot.
Hmm?
And let me tell you, man, that guy is riding around on his horse and causing a lot of issues, all right? So I decided to play a little game of what is Lancelot immune to when he's on his horse?
Oh.
That's the long title for the game.
Okay.
Because
Knock up?
some might surprise you.
Knock up?
I know.
No,
I
he's
have
immune to
specific
knockup.
ones. I have
Oh.
specific ones that I'm gonna list off, and
Okay.
then
Okay.
you guys are gonna tell me yes or no.
Oh,
whether
yes
or
or
not
no.
he is or
I
is not.
see. Okay.
Okay.
Well, this
That's
is
how
gonna
it's gonna work.
be. I'm just gonna go ahead and
This is
accept
gonna be
my L
easy.
right now because I haven't even played Lancelot since he's been released. So
So all right. So I'm
Go ahead.
gonna go out. So basically, all right. So I'll give you a hint, Nev. So he is immune to every single CC except for he's stunned.
Yeah.
However, there are some weird interactions
Mhm,
with some
mhm.
certain abilities that do have stuns in them.
Mhm.
But I'll save that for later. So we're gonna have first up. We have Naja Sash. Is he immune? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Def Nev.
Sure.
It is a stun. It's like a pull to a stun.
Right.
He is immune
Yeah.
because the pull part does not count, so therefore he does not get
right.
stunned,
Okay.
and he is
Yep.
immune.
That's what I was thinking once you said
Naja, staying on Naja, we have Naja ult. Is he immune?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, he is also immune to Naja ult. So don't play Naja into Lancelot.
Don't play
'cause,
Naja into Lancelot.
It's like technically like a knock-up / banish thing into the it's like a weird interaction. It's like a knock-up
Yeah.
stun into the air thing. It's weird. Next up we have Gilgamesh dropkick. It stuns if you
yeah.
hit him into a wall.
He's immune to
Right,
that
but
too.
is
Yeah,
it
he's
is it
immune, though.
stun first or
'Cause
is
it's a
it
knock. It's a
The
knock.
knockback stun if he hits a wall.
right? So
Immune.
I'm just gonna say yes.
He is immune, correct. There's gonna be a lot of yeses on here.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yes, he is immune to
stupid
Gilgamesh,
and
too.
immune to too much shit.
It is.
Yeah, the stun doesn't apply unless he gets pushed into something, but he's not able to be pushed. So, next up we have in the same kind of vein we have On Her's Impale.
Honor.
Yep. Immune.
Immune.
But
Don't even
immune.
know her.
He is immune. Ding ding ding. You are correct. Next up we have Heim Daddy's Ultimate.
Immune.
You know what? Fuck it. Immune.
He is immune. He cannot get banished into Nippelheim. Next up, we have Yamoja's 3, the Riptide, little ball, a little circle.
Immune.
Yeah, immune. Yeah.
He is immune. He cannot be launched on that
By the
thing
way,
on his horse.
fuck Lancelot.
Yeah.
I want you to
How
know
is this
fuck
even balanced?
Lancelot.
Yeah.
Next up on the list, we have Ardio's 2 in bear form. The roar.
The roar.
Not immune. Not immune. He gets stunned.
No. It's a stun.
He
Just a
is
stun.
not immune.
Yay!
He does get stunned.
Yeah, hey, finally somebody can do something.
Play Ardio.
Ardio 2 in her druid form. Immune.
Immune. He does
We were talking about that, Dep. Talking about the only ability out of 8 or 7 abilities she has that can affect him.
Next up on the list, we have Ares ult.
Immune.
Immune.
This one is very annoying
immune.
and frustrating.
He is
Holy
immune. He is
shit,
immune
dude.
to
He can just
pulls.
hop on his horse and can't pull me.
This is how is this balanced?
It's not.
Don't worry. I have the last one I have on the list is gonna blow your mind too. It's really funny.
All right.
Next up we have Dodgy ult.
Immune.
Immune.
He is immune.
Yeah, similar to Ares ult.
Yeah.
Next up, we have two from the same god. We have King Arthur's little jab ult, his small ult, if you
just
will.
immune.
Not immune. That's a stun.
He is not
Oh.
immune.
Oh, I
the
didn't listen to
banish.
the full thing.
Yeah.
However,
Mhm.
King Arthur's big ult, the 4
Oh,
cannonball
immune.
for
Immune.
Avalon,
Immune.
he is immune. Last two. All right, we have Hera's polymorph.
Immune.
Yeah,
Immune.
Immune. It's
Immune.
not a stun.
Ooh.
Immune.
I feel like
immune.
he's immune because you're asking, but he really
Immune gang.
shouldn't be.
But here's the
Immune
thing.
gang.
It does a lot of damage. It might just polymorph him anyways.
Immune
Yeah, but
gang.
he gets almost a 740 health shield, so it's not gonna do
Yeah.
that much damage.
All I know is
Immune.
I
He is
want to
immune,
see.
by the way.
Yay!
Yeah, I feel like it
Cannot be
shouldn't be,
polymorphed.
but the fact that you're asking
Yeah.
makes me think that it is.
Yeah.
Right.
This is busted.
So the
All
last
right.
one, this is the one, this is the fun one.
Is this the one that's gonna blow our minds? All right, go
This
ahead.
is the one that's gonna blow your minds. Invader's Curse.
Invader's Curse. I guess immune
no
at this
way.
point.
Immune.
No way.
Is he actually immune for Invader?
He
Is
is
he
immune
really?
to Invader's
Are
Curse
you
on his horse.
kidding me, Spike? What the fuck?
However, you are then you have your horse at level 1, so you can't really do anything besides get on your horse and do a U-turn. But
How
still,
is this balanced? What?
but he can just ride around in Invader's Curse and not get cursed
That's wild.
because he is immune to every CC.
Invader's Curse isn't just for
Besides-
level 1. It's the first 5 minutes.
Like 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not 5
Or
minutes.
like
it's the
3
first-
minutes?
It's like the
Or like
first
2
40
minutes?
seconds, I think.
Oh.
No, it's like
Oh, did
45.
it show
Why
you?
do I feel like it's way
could've swore
longer?
It used to be longer, yeah. Did
Yeah.
it used to be back in the past?
Maybe.
It might have been, but you can invade the second buff. Like it's not. It's really just for the first buff.
All right, so then maybe like a minute 30.
Maybe. But yeah, no. I mean, like I said, you can get on your
It
horse,
might
but
have
then
just
you have your
been-
horse at level 1, so you can't do anything. But
It might have been a holdover from when buffs didn't drop until 15 seconds.
Hmm.
Or,
Maybe.
Wait.
yeah,
yeah,
it's
15.
really just for the first buff spawn. But yeah, he is immune to Invader's Curse. Fun fact.
I hate everything.
Yeah.
And that is the game of what is Lancelot immune to on his horse.
I hate it. I hate it.
Ask yourself before you use an ability on him, is he going to be immune to this? The answer is likely.
The answer is probably yes, unless
unless
you have
it's
like just a base stun of something.
Stun.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
simple stun.
Simple stun, yeah. No on her twos, no Gilgamesh twos, just a simple little stun. Like Ardio roar. She roars and he's off his horse.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Simple as
By
that.
the way, when he gets knocked off his horse, does that put it on cooldown right then?
Yes.
Good.
But can't he dismount and it not count on cooldown?
Yeah, he can do like the Awelix thing where you cancel
Not
it
good.
and then yeah, he can get back on it. But you don't your shield health stays whatever it was when you got off. So like let's say you took some shield damage and you get off your horse and then get back on your horse, it doesn't go all the way back to full, it goes back to where it was before.
Probably shouldn't
No.
allow that. Probably just put it on cooldown.
Put it on cooldown is the way to. And make sure that's a long
Also,
ass
A
cooldown.
start. It's not a way. It's a start. It's a
Yeah.
small start.
Speaking of Lancelot as well, since we're on the Lancelot horse right now, haha, fun fact. Let's play the game. Let's play another game of Lancelot. Can Lancelot get over walls? Like player made walls, not like
Oh.
the geography walls.
By the
No,
way, I
I'd
don't
say
feel like
Ymir walls,
I
yeah.
don't know why that's a distinction, but it shouldn't be. A wall is a wall. Why player made walls versus other ones are coded
Because
differently?
they're thinner. They're thinner.
Right, but if let's say they weren't, right? Are
then
they
you wouldn't
coded
be able to go
differently?
walls. No, they're just thinner. That's why like
Okay. Okay.
So what I'm getting at here is that he does not have a jump or a leap in his kit at all, but he can get over walls.
Because when he does
If
that
you
little
are
high
on-
jump thing,
When you're on your horse and you do the high jump over into like the root, you can jump over like a Ymir wall or a Yamoja wall or like a Kebrakan wall with that.
well,
Even though it's
then
not coded as a
fucking I
jump,
want
you can-
Hunbots
you
to
can
be
jump
getting
over
over
it.
Thor walls.
Right.
Oh
This
yeah,
guy is so stupid. This is so stupid.
That's too. Yeah. So like it happened yesterday in SPL where someone tried to Yamoja like ult the Lancelot and he just like two'd over the wall, just like jumped over it
Yeah.
and just got out.
That's fair.
So yeah. Fun
That's
fact.
fair.
That's your little PSA on Lancelot. He's immune to a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, real
That's all I
annoying.
got.
Yeah. Well, that's all right.
Oh,
That's
also,
all. Yeah. Oh, son
I
of a
would say
bitch.
also, yeah, sorry, not also. I mean, since I was talking about SPL too, Yarkor got kicked, by the way.
Saw
kidding.
that. What the
Yeah.
heck?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, was that a team decision or like you're not good enough to be here decision?
Team decision, personality clash. Not
Okay.
sure what else. That's all they kind of said was that their personalities were getting in the way of each other. So he
Yeah, I
has
find that
been
a very
removed.
interesting thing, right? Because that brings up another conversation here. Because have you ever heard the conversation or the argument that the SPL and like the minor leagues are so hard to get into because of exclusionary tactics?
Yeah, the
Like,
Smite Friends League.
yeah, the Smite Friends League, where it's like if you're not in with the crowd, you can't get in. Period. Type thing. It's something I've heard. Obviously, I'm too much of a shitter player to ever have experienced any of this. It's kind of interesting thing when it comes up enough, and it's interesting again because personalities meshing together well on a team is a thing,
Oh,
but
for
it's
sure.
not a
Requirement.
quantifiable thing at all,
Mm.
and it's a very subjective thing. So when someone gets kicked for personality clashing, who's to say that Yarkor wasn't? I don't know them at all, right? But in this
Like
instance,
who was in the
right?
wrong and just who does
Yeah,
the
who's to
team
say?
like
Yeah,
more?
Yarkor's like, yeah, I
Right.
just was tired of these guys spewing their like, who knows, like, just toxic shit.
I'm tired of paying Tom not dropping my fucking blue, dude.
Right. He's doing
Yeah.
it on purpose.
Yeah, so I'm calling him a turd in chat, and now I'm getting kicked.
Oh, is that what happened?
No, I'm just making something
Okay,
up. But
'cause
that's what
I
I'm
don't
assuming.
know.
I'm assuming. Obviously, we don't know what happened, but I'm assuming it was some type of toxicity is what he got kicked for. Because
Yeah,
otherwise,
it's
I
a
don't see
safe
why you kick
assumption,
him.
right?
Yeah.
But because of the whole Smites Friend League, it's always kind of every time I hear that, it's like, is it? And then you'll also hear like certain SPL teams or like the minor league teams won't scrim with other teams and shit like that, which I can understand. Again, like personalities do clash. It is a thing. Like some teams might not get along with other teams. But then I heard a lot of times it's like some of the top teams won't practice with the lower end teams. But then how are the lower end teams supposed to get practice against
Right.
the higher end teams? Right? And I don't
Yeah, I mean, but if you're a higher end team though, what good does it do you if you're practicing against like the Valks from last year who are all in Europe?
they're in the
Like,
same fucking league as
what
you.
good
You're
does it?
going to play against them.
Yeah, but like, what good does it do you to practice against them? You're not getting any better playing the worst team in the league. Like,
If you're the best team in
it's
the
not
league,
good practice
why do you practice then?
Why do you practice and scrim? Yeah. Like
because you still need to get better. But what?
Okay, well
there's a
then
difference between bad
practicing
practice and
against
good
someone that
practice,
you're
though.
literally going to have to play matches against that matter, even if they are considered worse than you. They're still in your league.
Yeah, but like the Valks last year didn't win. They won like one set the whole year, and they all played from Europe. So like, what is the point of that? In my opinion, like no one really gains anything from just like playing against people with bad ping and stomping them.
Well, that's arguing because they have bad ping.
Well,
Right.
like okay, so like my example, right, is I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago was when Rival, I think, fine, okay, no, PBM released like a scrim VOD from like a couple seasons ago, where they played the Weekends Obey team, and they literally didn't. They had the silence comp where they didn't say a single word to each other. They weren't in the same. They weren't in a Discord call or anything. They didn't say a single word the entire game and played every character with a silence. So they kind of troll picked, and they still dominated the scrim against Weekend's team that was actually trying. So like, and then after that they were like, this is why we don't schedule scrims against this team because it literally doesn't matter what we do, we can still beat them. So it's not even worth practicing against them because like we can't practice, like even if we practice like our real shit, it's just gonna be a stomp and we don't get any like actual good practice out of it.
Beacon's team gets practice out of it. They could become better, right?
Yeah, but you don't want them to become better if you're competing against them.
Then that's a shit competitive mentality. What's the point then? If you only want your competitors to be shit, why don't you just go sandbag and play in the lower league?
I'm not saying you want your competitors to be shit. I'm saying you want to win though.
Okay,
like you don't want to help your.
Do you want to
competitors
win
get
against
better
good
if it means
competition, or do you just want to win because there isn't a competition?
I mean, you just want to win more.
Yeah, well then, not really about the competition, then, is it? You just want to win. I mean, I'm just saying. And we are talking about literally like the best team, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Because
best
Old Rival
versus worst
was
is
like,
where that would apply.
okay, I guess they could be argued they weren't the best because they never pulled a championship, but they were like,
They were at the time though. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were winning every regular season event. They just didn't.
And
win
you
one.
also then picked the worst team, right? Weakest team was the worst team. Let's be real. It's always been towards the bottom there. So again, that is a bit of the extreme. But then how are they ever supposed to get better?
They play against the 7th seed team and they scrim them, and then they both get better eventually.
So who's
By
the
learning
7th seed
shit.
team supposed to scrim against? Is it supposed to be a whole ladder all the way up?
Weakens team.
All right, so now it just got the two shittiest teams in the league playing against each other, and somehow they're supposed to magically get better going against each other to actually put up a challenge to go against, like, rival?
Yeah, you watch what rival does in their games and you try to emulate it against when you play against the 7th seed team.
But you don't actually have practice against those players, though, of that actual skill level. See, this is the whole
No.
part that I was like, I mean, I get where it's like there's not much for them, right? But I also think that we could also admit here that the Final K's rival team, those guys have always kind of known that they were good, right? And it's a bit of their personalities to just do that silent comp and have that type of response. Right.
It was pretty funny.
I mean, yeah, it's funny. I
I
laughed
watched that.
about it too. It's an enjoyable thing. But for them to be like, all right, and that's the only scrim we're ever going to do against you, that's the shitty part, right? Because then how are they honestly supposed to get any improvement? If like literally you only will come down to troll on them one time, tell them to fuck off and leave. I mean, good on you, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just something I've seen. I did see it when we did run the league for a little bit. Teams would try to scrim against us, right? And we didn't have a problem going against the, scrimming a higher level team. But they would only ever steamroll us completely, right? And play us that one time. But like not give any sort, and this is also part of, I think, the scrim mentality is a little awkward in general, because they would turn around and not give us any feedback.
It's more of like a moral booster for them, more so than it was for us.
Yeah, they probably got stomped by some team and they're like, we did an ego check, and then they went
Yeah,
and played someone
exactly.
else.
Yeah. That's why I personally didn't like scrimming higher level teams, because more often than not they would be like, oh, okay, well, we're just gonna finish this scrim in like an hour total and peace out, and not tell you anything constructive.
Yeah.
Well,
that's my
to
example
a
of bad
point,
practice.
when
See, like they
you
don't get any better from that.
and there's a
It's just bad
difference.
practice.
There's a
Exactly.
difference between a team having, let's say, people that are ranked gold and in comms, and a team that's like platinum, and like it's almost orders of magnitude higher. Like if you can in ranked without comms perform at a certain competitive level, and then you add comms into it, you're lifted that much higher, right? So it's all relative.
I find it a very
guys.
awkward argument, especially when, like, literally this week, you in Discord here, Riggs, have posted this is why you let the minor league teams play against the pro leagues, because one of them pulled a set. And
Yeah,
I
that's
think
different when
scrimming's
that's
the
different from
same
when
concept. Like you let them do it because like it can happen, and like people can improve. We have had teams that have climbed up. I mean, if you look at Final K himself as a player, literally started in a college league. Yes, there are Smite college leagues out there, and then he moved into minor leagues, into pros, to being probably the solo laner that everybody knows. Right? He wouldn't have got up there if he didn't have higher level teams willing to play against him throughout the whole way up. Now, again, I do understand at a certain point where there isn't much that you gain from practicing against the low level teams. If you're looking for very specific type of like just training, but I also like do believe that probably even the pros, there is a bit to be had to practicing the basics or using a team that maybe isn't quite to your level to do a little more of serious but off meta picks, right? Not trolling, but like, or like, let's go for more niche comps to see if, this type of thing would work. Like, they could be using that. Like, if they, like I said, the silence team, if they were going for that to let's see how, like, frustrating and, like, CC heavy we can make a silence team to actually, like, make that comp, you know what I mean? Like, there's some merit to that. Do it just to troll the people and say, fuck this shitter team. Again, it's funny for a one video and doing it one time thing, but not very constructive for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think the frustrating part is when you say that it's not constructive or helpful for anyone and then go in with the attitude and mindset and do the actions that make it, that exacerbate that. Like, you're a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy at that time. Anyways, that's all I got on that. We've been ranting about scrims long enough, especially for people who don't even fucking scrim anymore.
Played Comp Smite in 2 seasons, so.
Same. I'd like to get back into it, but I just don't have time anymore.
I don't think I want to. I think honestly, competitive Smite ruined Conquest for me. But that's a story for another day.
You know what's not a story for another day? Figuring out who the best hunter is. We have a community corner to get to. Unless
are we doing that?
Well, I hope I put mine down somewhere because I had it made and I am fucking drawing a blank.
I didn't have mine made.
Yeah, I haven't made mine.
folks, do we give the listeners one more week?
One more week.
Uno mas to get your submissions in. I think we'll do that. I do have a sticky note with my hunter on it. I'm saving it in my pocket.
And we are talking about hunter abilities, not using mages that are auto attack mages, correct? Because I saw somebody trying to sneak a mage in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All hunter shit.
Oh.
It's in the mage tab, doesn't count.
I scrolled up, and I'm not sure if I brought this up last week, but I feel like I need to bring it up as a bit of a redemption for myself. Blaze also unbound his autos.
Go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he somehow unbound his autos as well. I do feel much better about that. But I'm not seeing the god I made. Moving on.
Just completely off topic here. Dep Nation, Cthulhu's eyes on your little gift there are sitting so perfectly right above your head that it looks like double horns, and I just wanted to run that out there. Okay, continue.
Listeners,
we're getting a new hunter.
Video, understand the visuals. Yeah, there was an arrow. It looks like a new hunter.
Which shot she will choose a strike?
It should be Ishtar.
Yeah, I would say it's Ishtar, isn't it?
It should be. It should be. Based off of the preseason trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about. I just know the name.
I don't know anything about Ishtar aside from like a loose association with Ostara and Easter or something like that. And there used to be Ishtar gates at Babylon. Not Babylon. Uruk. That's all I know.
No using the new god. We're gonna
no using the new god in this additional week.
Oh, let me just throw in 4 busted abilities that haven't been PTS'd yet.
It's a shame we did the assassin one already because I feel like Lancelot would be coming up a lot.
Oh,
But he's a
absolutely.
warrior, right?
But he's immune. He's immune.
He's immune.
that still blows me away that they're like, we don't want to have we already have Arthur. We don't want to have another, similar aesthetically looking, warrior and all that. So we're
Warrior,
gonna make
yeah.
him an assassin, but we gave him a warrior's kit.
All
right, cool.
Exactly. 700.
We designed a
shield.
warrior, but we.
Oh,
gave
that's
him
true. He is
labeled
an
him as
assassin.
We gave him assassin scaling.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I suck. I'm dumb.
Here's,
All right.
Yeah, he's an
Here's my
assassin.
frustrating part about that is they
He's
have
immune.
turned warriors into dudes in armor, or I guess ladies, in armor, people in armor, right?
Yeah.
Like humanoid in armor.
Yep.
And then get mad and have to like, oh, we don't want to make him. We don't want Lancelot to be a warrior because he's gonna look too much like Achilles. Like, well, how about you just stop making all the warriors people in fucking armor?
Right.
Like, I get it, it's warrior, but like, nothing wrong with a monster.
Colin doesn't have armor.
What's
Oh,
up?
monster warrior. That'd be fun. We need more monster gods.
Or
I'm here for it.
except the fact that a knight just kind of is a medieval warrior.
Knight of the Round Table, kind of a warrior.
Kind of like it, except one of the two. Either start making some monstrous ones, right? So you're not like, oh no, I don't want the whole class to be like this, or
right,
accept that people in armor are it.
Pro
Right.
Double G, name me the only monstrous warrior, if you can call him that.
Monstrous warrior. Colin?
Horus. It's a bird. Birdman.
Would say Cullen is probably more monstrous.
I think Dev's definition of monsters is not humanoid. I think.
Not well, even humanoid. They all have arms and legs and a head.
I just saw your eyebrow raise when I mentioned armor, so I'm like, okay, which guy doesn't wear armor?
But like Horus is like a bird. Like every
Shiva
other
doesn't
one
wear
basically
armor,
looks kind of like a human,
Right.
But Horus.
I'll give you that. Horus and Shiva are probably the best outlier.
And
examples.
Shiva's just Sun Wukong's got a tail, technically. Like it's the closest you get now. They're all like people.
Yeah,
give us a monstrous warrior.
I think it was Happiness on VD2 mentioned when Cerberus was coming out that he really wanted Cerberus to be a warrior. And Cerberus actually almost was a warrior, but then they just thought all of his stuff was very magical. So they made him magical into a guardian. Like, oh.
I mean,
I love it with Lancelot and Arthur. It's like, oh, we don't, they look similar. They both wear armor. They're both like, knights or whatever. It's too hard to distinguish them. Yeah, one of them's fucking riding a horse. I don't think I'll have a trouble distinguishing which one is which.
One's riding a horse, the other's twirling in a fucking circle.
Yeah, when one of them's spinning at me and one of them's riding a horse at me, I think I know which one's which. I'll be fine.
Meanwhile, Achilles is in between them running at you, and I'm like, this is the real one that's confusing.
Right.
Achilles and Lancelot look more alike, I think.
Yeah.
And they feel more alike. Like, honestly,
I mean,
Achilles and Lancelot are like when you pick Ken and
Lancelot.
Ryu in Street Fighter.
It's like that meme of like, can I copy your homework? Yeah, but just make sure it looks a little bit different. It's like Achilles and Lancelot's kids. Like they literally have the identical kid, but just a tiny
brown
bit.
hair
go on a horse. Give it a
horse.
charge.
Yeah.
Right.
A big cone ability instead of a stun, which is gonna push you away. A double dash, yeah.
Double
Awesome.
dash, yeah.
Dashing forward alt. Yup.
Gotta love it. Well, Fro Double G, I do believe we have some thank yous to get to.
We do have some thank yous that I was totally prepared for and am getting ready to say at this very exact moment. Thank you very much to Sadans for all of our wonderful thumbnails. He is getting back on them now slowly. Thank you to Rajikaijin for all of the wonderful artwork we've commissioned from you. Hit him up if you need any work yourself. Remember to tip your artists. And lastly, thank you to all of our wonderful patrons that help improve our podcast and all of our other content that we make.
Lastly, but not leastly.
Yes, not leastly. Thank you
Not
to
leastly.
Ariel Steele, Asbestos Dog, Weatherman Keith, Jade Flagon, Baseball, Griff, Bombi, Danny, Caveman, Neo, Coffin Monkey, CD Arlets, Gilly, Snorlax, Weatherman, Adios, Sir Ember, K Brojo, Famous Freak, Stoffmeister, Backlash, Sadons, Dr. Godfucker, Lantern, Reese, Warlord Yo, Bats Kid, Echo Dunk, Doc, Necros, Nev. That change in the corner of my eye just totally threw me off there. Otter Joe,
So zoomed in,
Riggs,
too.
Dracon, Glenwiggle, Granite Boys, Camel Hoss, Void vs. Void, Enbright, Scion Gemini, Batman, Sandman, Aquasoft, Kilowatt Man, I'm a Hater, Mr. Man, Colorado, and The Big.
Listen, I had to change it. Oh my God, Bach. I had to change it because every time you read, it's like in a rhythm. And so that's why I changed it to Cat Jam.
Cat Jam.
It helps with the enunciation.
Yeah. Well, guys.
But thank you all
let's,
very much. We appreciate it.
Always appreciate it.
Yeah.
I was about to say let's go play cooldowns, but we fucking can't.
Oh,
Listen, I'm
Jesus.
gonna
I'm
fix
upset.
it. I'm gonna fix it. If enough people show up, we will do cooldowns.
We're about to at the
All
fucking
night.
challengers to get people here.
Yeah.
We will do it. I will at challengers. Don't tempt me with a good time.
When the hosts are desperate for cooldowns, so we're at
Cooldowns,
challengers in their
right?
Discord.
So we add
We're
our
desperate
community.
for cooldowns, so I'm gonna host cooldowns runneth over tonight. Okay?
We love it.
We'll ban
Make
Bobble.
sure
No
to
Bobble.
add us.
Yeah, no bobble.
No bobble.
Dude, R.I.P. Bobble, man.
Actually, I will put that in the freaking Nev stuff
By
right
the way,
now.
I was in Slash. Has Bobble not been changed yet? Wasn't that on Wednesday?
No.
It has.
that was-
It's a visual bug. It has.
Okay.
The visual. It's
'Cause-
not updated in the text, but it's only
Yeah.
50.
The text. Okay. Because
Because
the text is
I
not.
almost picked it up on Geb yesterday. I'm like,
Yeah,
60%
I think
if you
it's-
look at it, if you look at like how you can check your utility stats
Yeah.
on your like little thing, if you do that, it'll only say 50. Even if you have 60.
Okay.
get the
'Cause I
fuck
had the
out of
same
here
thought,
and mourn cooldowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Bye-bye.
arms of Kurt Angle.
I wish Kurt Angle would hug me.
For real. Goodbye. Fro has stopped recording.
I almost left the Discord call where you said bye.
Me too, actually.